So then, every single question here that I've gotten, people need to really come to one of our week-long events because they need to learn the walking meditation. They need to take their body for a walk and take it out of the past. They got to do that standing meditation so that in their waking day, they're not back to the old programs again. They're walking. It's a new habit. They're walking as it. They're talking as it. They're feeling it. They're thinking as it. They've practiced becoming it. So as you overcome every single day, in time you become somebody else. So our week-longs are a great way for people to practice sitting as it, walking as it, standing as it, lying down as it. They're having the opportunity to literally change the habit. And when we're unhappy, we walk a certain way. And when we're feeling sorry for ourselves, our posture changes, and our body changes, and our chemistry changes. And so the moment somebody starts taking on a new energy, and they practice that for 2 weeks, they're going to walk from their car to their office. They're going to be walking as their future self, and their body's going to have to catch up sooner or later. And when it does, all of a sudden they'll say what a lot of people say: I know I'm healed. I know it. How do you know? I just know. I'll do the test, but I already know I'm healed. We see that all the time. The body that has become the mind is so afraid to step into the unknown. And it'll do everything it can to distract us. You get an itch, you get a pain, you get gas, you get a headache, you get nauseous. This is all the body going, no. The last time you stepped out into the unknown, it didn't go very well. You got betrayed, you got manipulated, you got taken. You felt a lot of pain. So it's just like, on my ranch, the stallions are in these big paddocks. And when I first had my stallions, I wouldn't put any hot lines around there. And, they could smell the mares up on the top of the property, and they would literally run right through the wooden fences, just like these big animals just breaking through and running up the hill. Well, they were just, nature was calling, But you put a hot line on there, and they hit that hotline a few times, you can walk them right up to that hotline and they will not go any further. That's conditioned. You notice a change in your internal state, you become awake and aware, and you pay attention to what caused it, and you narrow your focus on that line. Do it a few times, and you take a stallion, you try to move that stallion past that point, and they will not move. You can get 5 guys to push them, and they'll push them all backwards. They've been conditioned into the box, right? So that's what pain does for us, right? Like, I don't want that to happen again. So the body is already programmed to make sure that it doesn't. So you start taking the person out of their comfort zone, out of the known, and the body's going, well, I don't know if I want to do this, and it does all those things. Follow the instructions. Take your attention off your body, and every time your body starts doing that, settle it down into the present moment and say, I'm going to let you sleep later. I'm going to let you eat later. You can drink coffee later. You can open your eyes and take a shower later. You can lay down. You can do whatever. But right now, you're no longer the mind. I'm the mind. And every time it does that, you settle it back down into the present moment and you unfold back into possibility. You're training that horse. You're retraining the horse and telling it it's no longer the mind, that you're the mind. And just like training any animal, sooner or later, it's going to realize that your will is greater than the program. And it's going to finally surrender. And when it does, there's always a liberation of energy. And everybody always says the same thing. I'm so glad I stuck with it. It was so worth it. I pushed myself further than I thought I can go. And every time you push yourself further than where you think you could go, you're in the unknown. So the moment you scratch your head, you're back in the known. The moment you start yawning, your body's going, I don't want to do this. But hey, listen, if you're going to have a date with the divine, and you're showing up yawning and scratching and disinterested, you don't even believe it exists. If you knew that divine was a loving intelligence, and that it is the very fabric of everything material, and that it's been present the whole entire time, and you got to meet it with the same energy. Your mind has to match its mind. Your love for life has to match its love for life. Your will has to match its will. And when you do, and you eclipse with that intelligence, you won't be yawning. You won't be itching. You will be stunned by its magnificence. So many people just, they go at it kind of half speed, and they go at it like, I don't want to do this, or I'm tired, or that's the body-mind talking as they go into it unconsciously. But if you knew that you could create something new by changing your energy, and that you could connect to this intelligence that's real, what would you bring to the date? You'd be on time. You would be present. You would be engaged. You would bring your best. You wouldn't let anybody or anything distract you, just like your date with a lover. You wouldn't miss that date for anything. You would move mountains to make sure that you had time for that person. Well, we're talking about the prima materia here. I mean, if you're showing up that way, then there's a program that you're already thinking that it doesn't exist subconsciously, or that you can't arrive at, or it's too hard, or it takes too much work, or whatever people do when they resign. But when you say, I don't want my breakfast, I don't want my coffee, I don't want my tea, I don't want my sleep, I don't want my shower, I don't want my cell phone, I don't want my comfort, I don't want any of these things. I want you more than anybody else. You are the object of my affection. And you bring your best. I mean, think about this. People step into the altar of the divine, and they complain all the time. Like, they beg for things. I mean, do you want a relationship? Think about it. Do you want to be in a relationship with someone who's asking for things, for you to do things all the time for them? They're needing things all the time, that they're begging. Sooner or later, you're just going to be like, I don't have time for this, because you're not connecting first, right? So connect with that intelligence and understand that you have to match it in its presence, and that you have to make a commitment when you sit down. You're going to sit up like a noble being, that you are going to disconnect from everyone or anything, and you're saying, this is my time. I'm investing my time and attention into the divine. I'm putting my attention on the unknown, and I want to see feedback in my life to let me know that this intelligence is real. And I'm making time to emulate it, to become it, to connect with it. And no person, no thing, no experience, no place is going to take me from my attention to it. And now you're going to get an electrical signal, and your body's going to be like jumping on a horse, and grabbing your legs and wrapping around and giving a little kick like, let's ride. The horse knows the moment the rider gets on and grabs it and kicks it like we ride, the horse knows that it's no longer the mind, that somebody else with a greater intelligence is now the mind. So many people have been conditioned into believing how powerless they are. They don't think that their thoughts make a difference, that their feelings make a difference, that their gestures go unseen, that they're ever seen. People have been conditioned that they don't matter, that they're powerless. That is absolutely not the truth. Sit up like a noble being. Command the present moment and say, for these 45 minutes or half an hour or 20 minutes or an hour, whatever it is that's for you, this is who I become. And you don't get up until that person, your body is going to sooner or later get very, very excited about connecting to it, because that feeling is going to be electric, and I can guarantee you won't be yawning or scratching or any of that stuff. You're going to leave that way behind. That's just the body, and it just needs a master to step in and say, this is my time and this is how we do it.